Hey guys, welcome to our last section of the colored level strategies for the semester. I'm sure you're all a little sad about that. So we're going to go over the last two color level strategies today. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the green level strategies and the blue level strategies. So I'd go ahead and open those up if I were you, which of course can be found in the module for this week, and go ahead and start looking at them. So green level strategies: establishing a clear objective, aligning your objective to account for different differences. Well, that was redundant. And then also to identify and emphasize competitive advantages and meaningful strengths. So we're going to talk a little bit about each of those. And then when we go into the blue level strategies, those are going to be creating concrete images, addressing obstacles, and motivating actions. So these are designed to address persuasive situations, these two colors, these two strategies. So that's kind of going to be what the focus is with these two colored level strategies. Red, orange, and yellow strategies, they're kind of foreground strategies, means they're applied directly in the writing that we do. These are going to be applied more so in certain kinds of writing, persuasive. So let's talk about establishing a clear objective. How many of you have ever had to write a persuasive essay or give a persuasive speech for like a speech writing class? Kind of think about that. We're doing basically the same thing in business writing. So you need to make certain that you have a concrete vision of what you want, and then an outcome, how to get to that outcome, a path for it. Be mindful to think about your objectives, both short-term and long-term. So think about that as you're writing and try to get that into the writing. So, maybe there's an example in here about you want to provide the janitorial service to these high-rise luxury condominiums. So you see requests for proposals. So your objective is to secure that job. It's to convince them to let you do this. So how are you going to do that? Well, first of all, you're going to align your objectives and you're going to account for differences. So you have a clear idea of what your objective is, but now what you need to do is you need to think about the other person that's going to be involved in this communication exchange. So the luxury condominium towers, in this example. So you want to create a win-win situation, basically, which is kind of how you can align for these objectives and align to the differences. So as you're trying to craft your message, you want the audience to see like what they're going to get out of this. Like, how are they going to benefit from this? You can try to do that by understanding their objectives. You can develop this understanding in several ways, as it says in the text. Often through communication and through research, it's not unreasonable to assume that your understanding may be partly on speculation. So you can speculate a little bit here, but at some point you have to make your best guess at what the other side wants, what they need, and what your service can provide for them in this situation. Then we're going to go on to the next strategy, which is identifying and emphasizing competitive advantages and meaningful strengths. So basically, identify what your strengths are and what's going to get you that job. What are the most convincing aspects of your case? If the situation's competitive, so if you're trying to vie for something, like a sales proposal or a job application, or even like a grad school application. You'll also want to analyze your strengths to see if they serve as any competitive advantage. What's something that you specifically can bring that the others can't. So think about that. It's also really good for job applications. When you're going in for a job interview, what is it unique about you that you can bring to a company, that you can bring to a specific job that others cannot? So think about that too. Once you've identified your strengths, you're going to need to take as many opportunities to remind your audience of them as you can, but you don't want to go overboard. You don't want to annoy them. They're just going to be like, we get it, all right, and then either just stop reading or toss your application aside or your request for a proposal, whatever it is. They might get annoyed by it. So you want to, mention your strengths, convince them, but don't go overboard, all right? So you'll see there's an example. there is the following is an excerpt. So if you go down, scroll down to, I think it's on page 3. So kind of the bottom of page 3 on to page 4, you'll see that there is an example of this, and it's highlighted in yellow, green, and blue. So to kind of show you some different things. So look over that and ask any questions if you have any on that. So now we're going into our blue level strategies. Concrete images, my favorite thing. How often have you written or read maybe a friend's like statement of intent or a job application where it's like, I am motivated, I am dedicated, you know, things like that, where you're just like, how, why, you know, what does that even mean? This is where concrete images really come into play. So you're going to really want to think about how to create an image with the reader. And what exactly does that mean, though? Okay, so let's look at this. So you looked at your objectives, you've created a win-win scenario, you've demonstrated your strengths to the audience. Now you want to try to secure that agreement. So you want to give them something to persuade them. So instead of saying something like, I'm highly organized, you could say something like, I created a complex filing system at my previous job. That shows not only are you organized, but that you took the initiative to create something, that you did something that's lasting with that job. They probably still use this, so that's something that's really, really beneficial. So like if you're asking someone if you can telecommute from home once a week, you could be persuasive by saying, last year, the accounting department successfully implemented a telecommuting program in which 4 employees participated. That's more convincing than just, there's precedent for this. So, you know, you're giving them that specific example. You're giving them something to kind of see in their head, so to speak. It helps the audiences also emotionally engage with your message. It helps them visualize. So that's why these are really important. And so you probably have seen, some of you have written, you know, in your, or said in your comments, please be more concrete, please be thorough. A lot of that is give examples. Give things for me to see, so to speak. So once you're there, last thing, motivate someone to action. This can actually be pretty simple. So, you know, you've said we want to, so in the example with the janitorial service, we want to secure business with you. We want to be your janitors. We want to be the ones that clean these high-rise condos. Okay, so now how do I go about doing that? You go about doing that by basically telling them how to contact you, telling them what you want. Give them a path of what they should be doing next. So you're creating that path, and how you do that is say something like, you know, like, we hope to secure your business. Please contact us at this number to discuss arranging a meeting, to discuss arranging a contract. It is usually best to give them a certain date or a certain time. You know, like, please contact me by this date. I look forward to hearing you, you know, a week after, you know, like in a few, within the week or something like that. Unless it's something like a request for proposal, then you might not want to give them a specific date. But, you know, for example, like if you're trying to convince someone to meet with you that you already have a working relationship with or something like that, I look forward to hearing back from you by Thursday, August 12th or whatever. That would be something that's helpful. So if you look at this, they give you the example, you know, please call me at this number to discuss arranging a contract. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about our proposal. So that's moving them to action. And yeah, you have your phone number, you have your address, you have your email address, and the letterhead usually. But you're putting it right there for them to see at the very end. So then what they might do is they might just click on that phone number, or they might just click on that email address, and they might go ahead and shoot you a reply right then. Hey, sounds great. Let's go ahead and set something up, or whatever. Also, I think I'm having technical difficulties.